Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Radha Madhava Kunja Gopi Chanda Vallabha Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Govardhani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Ashtasathari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Guru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Judha Patakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakala Raghunatham Vidham Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahakala Lalita Sri Vishakambidhamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My sincere gratitude to all of you for being with us this evening. Especially my esteemed God brothers and God sisters. There is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, no anger, no thirst, where even natural, inimical beings live together peacefully. Because Vrindavan is a place where everyone accepts that Krishna is the center of their lives. And therefore there is no selfish desire for one's own sense gratification. And in such a state, there is no envy. Where there is no envy, there can actually be real love. That is the spiritual world. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his journey to Vrindavan, he induced the tigers and the deers to dance with one another, to embrace, to even kiss each other in pure spiritual love beyond this material conception. And although the deer and the tiger are by nature enemies, since the beginning of time, when they were chanting the names of Hari Hari for the purpose of pleasing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the center of their lives, and all disturbances, all envy, even the misconceptions of their identities as tigers and deers, was gone forever. We can understand from this story, it's not that they were like that. And then after Lord Chaitanya left, the tigers began to eat the deers. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awakened, Jeev Jago, the dormant love that is within their hearts. And when that is awakened, it becomes the only reality for all of eternity. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw them embracing and dancing together, he remembered this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam of how Vrindavan is such a beautiful place because there's no envy, there's only love. Because everyone is so pleased, so grateful, so deeply appreciative of everyone else's efforts to please Krishna. If we actually love Krishna, then we will be so grateful and so happy with anyone who is sincerely trying to serve Krishna. That means Krishna is in the center. If we are serving Krishna and we become envious or arrogant toward others who are sincerely trying to serve Krishna, that means predominantly we're still putting our own misconceived self in the center. I'm not going to try to be a psychologist for deers and tigers. But we can understand from this principle that the tigers, because they tasted the sweetness of the holy names, Adi, Adi, and they really desired to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they saw the deer doing the same, they were loving brothers and sisters. And the deers toward the tigers. No fear. Vaikuntha means the place without anxiety. Because everyone accepts that Krishna is the object of our service. He is the supreme enjoyer, and He is the ultimate object of love. This verse comes from the chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam we are going to speak about today. If you remember yesterday, we spoke about Krishna liberating Aghasura. An extraordinary story. As we were telling, Aghasura was not just an ordinary asura. Most of the asuras that came to Vrindavan, their specific purpose was to kill Krishna. But Agha was so sinful, so hateful, so envious. Not only was he sent by Kamsa like the others, but he had very personal vested interests. Because Krishna killed his older brother and sister, Bakasura and Putana. His aim was to kill all the calves, all the cowherd boys, and Krishna. Knowing if he killed all of them, all the cows, all the mothers, all the fathers, every single Brijavasi would certainly die due to grief. He wanted to exterminate the entire community of Krishna. And he had such an incredible strategic plan to do so. After all the gopas danced blissfully into his mouth and into his throat and into his stomach or whatever snakes have, then Krishna went. And he expanded himself so big, Aghasura could not breathe. Aghasura was 8 miles long. So he had incredible yogic powers. And as fast as he could, he was expanding himself to get air. But Krishna was expanding faster. And ultimately, he was liberated. Not like most asuras who enter into the Brahmajyoti, Mukti. But he was given Sarupya Mukti, which means he was given a spiritual body in the spiritual world to be an eternal loving associate of Krishna. His eternal soul entered into Krishna's body. Krishna reciprocates in extraordinary ways. He allowed Krishna to come into his body, so Krishna allowed him to come into his body. not only that, he became so purified because of Krishna's association and that of the cowherd boys. And because he actually gave the cowherd boys so much happiness, he actually killed them all. When Krishna entered into Akasura's body, all the calves and the gopas were dead. They were unconscious. But up until that moment, he gave them nothing but happiness. They thought he was the most wonderful, wonderful attraction. Such a beautiful playground to play in. So Krishna took that little spark of goodness and whatever suffering and pain Akasura underwent for a few seconds, he was cleansed of all of his undesirable attachments. And all that was left was the purity of Krishna's association. This story gives such hope to everyone. If somehow or other, as Ram Chandra said, if even once with a sincere and earnest heart, a person comes to me and says, "From today, my Lord, I am yours," Ram said, I will give that person my protection. I will give that person myself for the rest of eternity. This is my solemn vow that I speak before you. Even if Ravana were to come and surrender to me sincerely, I would give him all shelter and all happiness forever. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavam papadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. After many, many births of acquiring knowledge, when one finally comes to the perfection, one understands that all I have to do is surrender to Krishna. And such a person attains the ultimate perfection. And what does it mean to surrender? It means to realize that I am Jivara Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. I'm eternally depending on Krishna as his servant and to serve with love. In Vrindavan, that love, that service is so deep and so sweet. If only we can get a glimpse by opening our hearts through bhakti of understanding the nature of Krishna's love for us, then we will naturally surrender everything to that love, whoever we may be. Shukadeva Goswami told Parikshit Maharaj that after the killing of, or not the liberation of Aghasura, the cowherd boys, along with Krishna, returned to the village of Vrindavan. This event took place in Krishna's Kumar age. And in the village of Braj, They celebrated this incredible pastime 1 year later, when Krishna and his friends were within the Poganda age. Now, Parikshit Maharaj was listening very carefully. He was already sitting there without eating or drinking anything for over 4 days. And just see how every word was more precious than the entire kingdom of the world which he once possessed. And he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, how is this possible? That the cowherd boys are speaking of the killing of Akasura a year after it happened, and they're speaking as if it happened that same day. Shukadeva Goswami was very excited to see Parikshit Maharaj's enthusiasm. He told him that you are the most fortunate because you are eager to hear about Krishna. And one who is eager to hear about Krishna, the transcendental message of Krishna's teachings, his qualities, his pastimes become newer and newer and newer. Krishna is Navayovanam Cha. He is forever youthful. His beauty is ever increasing. His love is ever increasing. And similarly, the transcendental message of Krishna, which is Krishna manifesting within this world through transcendental sound, is no different than Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavatam tells that after Krishna left this world, this Bhagavad Purana will be the light in the darkness of this age of Kali Yuga. Why? Because Krishna incarnates in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna's incarnation in transcendental sound. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was living in Navadvip as Nimai Pandit, he was once walking just a little distance from the river Ganga with some of his students. And he heard Devananda Pandit reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Devananda Pandit was the foremost scholar of the Srimad Bhagavatam in all of Navadvip, which indicates he was the foremost scholar in all of India, because Navadvip was the high seat of learning. And Lord Chaitanya was very angry, transcendentally angry, when he heard him speaking. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anger is not like ours. It's like a doctor giving bitter medicine. And we see the effects later. Devananda Pandit heard this and it had an effect in his heart. And later he became the servant of a Vaishnava, Vakreshwar Pandit. And then his entire understanding changed. And years later, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, was on his first attempted journey to Vrindavan, he stopped in Navadvip, Koladvip. And there Devananda Pandit came to surrender his heart to him. And he asked, how should I teach the Srimad Bhagavatam? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that when you speak Bhagavatam, in your heart you should know, and in your words you should speak that every syllable of every word of Srimad Bhagavatam is exclusively glorifying pure, unalloyed devotional service. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the manifestation of Sri Radha's love and Krishna's presence within this world. Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam, Mahaprabhu said. It is the spotless Purana. Dharma Prochita Kaitapatra. Because from the very beginning, Srimad Bhagavatam puts aside every other goal that the Vedas prescribe. Artha, Kama, Dhama, Moksha. Even liberation, even mystic cities, even elevation to the Lord's eternal abode. The Srimad Bhagavatam teaches ahoitaki apartihata bhakti, unmotivated, uninterrupted, loving service. It culminates in the 10th canto in Vrindavan, where it manifests the love of the Gopas, and then progresses into the love of the Gopis, and ultimately culminates in the love of Sri Radha. And how even Krishna is conquered by that love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu simply came to give that message. So being non-different than Krishna, if we are eager to hear, with a humble heart, then the sound of Krishna's names, the sound of Krishna's message will be newer and newer and ever increasing. And according to Shukadeva Goswami, that is the meaning of good fortune. And as devotees, we must take this very seriously. Because our tendency is to be influenced and dragged into materialistic consciousness, where we think good fortune is being very beautiful, or being very learned, or being very wealthy, or very healthy, or very powerful, or very influential. There is some good fortune in those things if we use them for Krishna service. But the real foundational basis of good fortune of a devotee is to the degree we are eager to hear about Krishna, where we actually have a taste. Krishna is reciprocating with the sincerity of our heart as we chant His holy name. Shukadeva Goswami continues. After Krishna liberated Aghasura, he brought his cowherd boyfriends to the bank of the Yamuna River. And Krishna said, "Let us sit here and have our lunch. See what a beautiful place this is." Krishna was glorifying Vrindavan. The soft, white, pure sand on the bank of the Yamuna River. And look at Yamuna Mai. Crystal clear, nectarine, sparkling waters with lotus flowers sprouting and blossoming here and there. And close by are forests thick with lovely trees. And all of these trees, in all seasons, they're giving fruits and flowers, so fragrant, so sweet. And the chirping and the warbling and the singing and the cooing of birds. This is the perfect place for us to have our lunch. Krishna sat down, and all the gopas sat in circle around him. And then there was another circle around that circle, and another circle around that circle. There were so many circles, all with Krishna in the center. What is the word? Concentric or something? I don't know the technical words, but the Srimad Bhagavatam explains like a lotus flower. Krishna was the whirl of the lotus flower, and all the gopas were like the petals around the lotus flower. 8 petals around that, 16 petals, 32 petals, 64 petals. There were thousands of petals around the lotus with Krishna in the whirl. And Krishna was looking at each and every boy, and every boy was looking at Krishna. Just as the chakora bird gazes upon the moon, and the full moon fills through its eyes, its heart, with the nectar of its rays. Chakora birds don't require any food or water. When they see the full moon, the rays of the moon are nectar that completely nourish its heart and puts it in ecstasy. Krishna Vrindavan Chandra was that full moon, and all the boys were looking upon him like the chakora bird.